Well, the Betfred Boxing Show is on the road again. We were in Leeds a couple of weeks ago. We're in sunny Bolton, and it is sunny. It's very, very bright, Anthony, isn't it?
Always.
Yeah. Anthony $1 Million Crow, of course, is here, and this is one of his places of work. So in here is where all the magic happens with Joe Gallagher and everyone else. We'll go and have a look. So this is it, Gallagher's gym, and special guest, Joe Gallagher, in here as well. And looking at training today, and I know, Anthony, you've been doing a bit with everyone in there as well. You've had James Moore, Crawford and Dixon here as well. They're your own fighters that train here, but it's very busy, Joe. I mean, it seems busier than ever.
I won't say busy ever, but there's a good energy in the gym. Like I say, there's some fresh blood being brought in to stimulate the old blood. Obviously, we've had the addition of Mark Heffron. He started off as his pro career with me 10, 11 years ago. Macaulay McGowan, I brought him on board. Great character in the gym. He's someone to have in the change room. Good crack, good banter. And Charlie Edwards as well. That's a great addition. He's ranked WBC #1 at bantamweight at the moment. So to be working alongside Paul Butler, who's WBO #1, that's great in-house sparring for them too, and they're pushing each other on, as you've seen in training today.
You've been here for a long time. I mean, obviously you were normally training under his tutelage, if you like, when you were winning world titles and all that business.
The old school, but Orphe's before me. Orphe's still here, isn't it? Jose Burton.
Yeah, that's it. He was in here obviously a bit earlier. But what I mean is, years ago you come in here and obviously all the champions and everything else, and Joe, you were going to call it a day about 10 years ago. I mean, now it's busier than ever. What's going on?
I've heard that
now you're a trainer. You're a trainer now. It's different generations. There's going to be another one coming through soon.
Yeah, I was going to call it a day around 10 days ago, Dom, never mind 10 years ago. But I just felt, listen, you're a long time retired, as Macklin used to say, and I felt there was still enough drive in me, still enough ambition, still enough appetite to still want to go on and finish the journey with some of the fighters. I want to see Nathasha Jonas crowned world champion. I want to see Paul Butler, 2-time world champion. I want to see Callum Johnson fulfil his potential. So I still feel there's a lot of unfinished work still to do, and it'd be great to see the likes of your Marcus, your Jose's and Mark Heffron win British titles. So the appetite, the desire is still there from a coaching point of view. But as Crawley knew on the phone this morning, there's other days I feel like absolutely banging my head off the wall thinking, why am I getting stressed out over this? So nothing changed, just the personnel, that's all, same stories but different personnel.
You got fight dates coming up. When they do come around, they'll start getting quicker and quicker as well with the different weights, the different people you got in here as well, aren't they?
Yeah, that's right. I think we're out next out October the 9th, October the 16th, October the 22nd, October the 29th. I'm here in November, so we've got to be out, we've got to be busy. And like you said, we've got young ones like Callum Thompson, who's had 2 fights. He's out again now. His 3rd fight coming up. We have Jose Burton fighting for the British title. Callum Johnson fighting coming up. Nathasha Jonas, she's out on the big show in Liverpool. Busy night for Anthony as well, because here's Rihanna on that bill as well. So it's good, and when people are fighting and they've got dates, it's easy to motivate everyone. It's like you said there, you walk in here years ago and you see Crawler and Quigg, you looked at today and you come in and you see Butler and Charlie Edwards, and both of them working with the same intensity and desire as them 2 boys did years ago.
I had a word with Charlie before as well. It's an interesting move, that, isn't it? But he's only 28, former world champion, wants to now do it super flyweight. Exciting times for him, and he seems completely rejuvenated. Yeah,
like I said to you there, I think Charlie, he'd been in a few gyms, and I think he was beginning to be the big fish in the finger, or he wasn't getting the motivation, but he's coming here. And Macaulay McGowan, who joined me, his first session, I put him through the mincer, and I thought he felt I was making an example or trying to break him. But then when Mark Heffron joined and Charlie Edwards joined, they all got the same treatment. And I said to Macaulay, I told you, don't care whether you're a 6-round or 8-round world champion, you'll get treated the same in here. So he knew them that we weren't trying to break him that day. But for Charlie, he's coming and he's just slotted in like everybody else. He's not, it's Charlie Edwards, stand back and I'm forgetting about you. He's just in there and working alongside everyone else. And I said to you there, him and Paul Butler are good training partners, very much like him and Quigg used to be.
Do you still get a different, it's a different buzz, I suppose. I said, do you get a buzz when you come in here now when you work in a different side of things?
Yeah, massively, and I know that, like, with each of those fighters, everyone's on their own journey. Like, I think, you mentioned them, Macaulay, he's a great character in the gym, but he can also fight. Yeah. He can also and Joe Warren can not start talking world titles, but that lad's got a title in him, definitely, and if he boxes how he can, and I think Macaulay gets a British title, so I'm like, that's like a world title, and that's not questioning his talent, because he's got a lot of talent and it's a great story that comes with it, and it's great to have him in the gym. But then again, You just mentioned Charlie's WBC #1. You expect to get a world title with Charlie. CJ's got a world title. And Tasha, just seen that. I say it all the time. I was going to say it yesterday again. People will always say, you know, how many more fights has she got left? Because of the age, you won't mind me saying 36, isn't it? 37. Being kind to her. Do you know? But she's coming off her 2 best performances and she's getting better. Like, you've always been saying that. She's honestly getting better. So there's a few fighters in the gym who you know are going to be involved in world title fights. And there's other fighters in the gym where you think, I want to get them to a British title. But I think the ambition, like you say, it's the same. It's the same. And obviously that's a testament to Joe to stay driven like that, because you don't have to be here. And that's sort of thing we was talking about this morning. You're stressing over a fighter in a 6-rounder or a 4-rounder and you're thinking, why am I stressing over this? But that's just, I can't say that's part of being a boxing coach. I've been in it for 5 minutes, but I'm sure Joe will say that.
Well, plenty more to come from this gym, no doubt about that. But of course, Joe, we can't let you go without asking you about the fight of the weekend. Joshua Usyk. I know you two have been in boxing news this week, giving your opinions. So I kind of know what where you stand, unless you change your mind, which can happen. Let's face it, we can all change our minds when we analyse these. But you're going AJ. You didn't say how, but you went AJ.
Yeah, like you say, change your minds, and all build up to this. I'm thinking Usyk. I think bit quick, bit sharp. Tag AJ. And very much is. AJ isn't a good starter. He got hurt early against Dylan White, got hurt early against Andy Ruiz. He's been hurt and stunned with other fighters early on. And I think that could be a chance for Usyk before. And you've seen AJ Madison Square Garden before the first bell. With that pressure on him, will it go again? He's up against a proper fight. And then there's other times you think, no, the best way to beat Southpaw is a straight right hand. And Anthony Joshua's got a good straight right hand. So you're back and forth all week. And then I said to Crawley yesterday, Joe, we're all trying to build up for this huge fight of Tyson Fury v AJ, but nothing ever goes to script. So it won't be surprising when next summer we're seeing Usyk versus Deontay Wilder. That could easily happen, but no one's talking about that. But Usyk is a live fight, and so is Wilder with Tyson Fury. So when I said yesterday for Boxing News of the Day, AJ, I've changed my mind to Usyk again now. But it is that type of fight. But I'm a believer in a good big one, which should beat a good little one. And people forget that Joshua was also a good Olympian himself, a good boxer. But they both have the vulnerabilities. And the best man on the day will win. I feel Usyk knows there's no way in the world he's getting a points decision. He has to do something early, or hope Joshua ties down the straight, and he can do what I call a Witherspoon Bruno, lay on. Do you know what I mean? Joshua's tied and he's put it on him.
Well, we shall see. We're going to get Anthony's thoughts a little later on, but we've had Joe's thoughts. Now let's get the thoughts of Usyk's promoter, Alex Krassyuk.
First of all, Alex, how was the journey over here with the team?
That was a pleasant one, Josh. You know, it was quite fast, very convenient. So we did enjoy it. We just didn't even notice we landed somewhere not in Kiev.
No, definitely. And in terms of the preparations, how have preparations been ahead of this fight?
Exceeded expectations. So all the plans were completed, all the tasks were done, everything went according to the plan. So I can't comment on that because I've not been involved in a training camp. But according to what I saw, sparrings went well, all the conditioning went well, and if you take a look at Usyk, you can just realize that yourself.
No, definitely. And these two, it's a nice little story, this, because both fighters won gold medals at the London 2012 Olympics, fighting in London. We've had the Olympics this year. That nice little subplot to the main event this Saturday.
It doesn't happen too often when two Olympic champions fight in the ring in heavyweights for the unification. Especially the fight of that rate. According to what we all see, this is the fight of the year, if you consider it from the point of expectations, because this is the highest anticipated fight, which is in progress and is very likely to happen this Saturday.
No, definitely. And in terms of fight week itself, you guys have obviously arrived in London now. There's open workouts this evening. What will be the preparations in this week building up to Saturday night for you guys?
The same routine as always. So he keeps in shape, he stays focused, he stays concentrated. He do what his trainer tells him to do. So couple trainings per day, proper food, good sleep, reading, praying, and all the routine, normal routine for him.
And can we expect a bit of fun from Usyk? I saw off the plane. He's already said hello to Anthony Joshua when they come face to face. Will there be a few fun and games?
We are waiting for that because tonight we're having the open workout, the media workout. So they plan to see each other for the first time in building up of this fight. Unfortunately, we didn't have chance to make the face-off at the press conference due to all the restrictions that we had. But now we are finally here in London, and hopefully we start to accelerate to catch up with the things that we didn't manage to do within the last couple months.
And London, we mentioned how Usyk won gold at the London 2012 Games. He's fought in the UK a number of times, the likes of Tony Bellew and against Derek Chisora. And the UK fans really love Usyk. How much is he looking forward to performing in front of over 60,000 people on Saturday night?
Wow, he feels excited about that. First of all, he's fighting in London, a city that he loves, the fans that he do admire with, and the public that gives all the energy, no matter who they are cheering for. They give you all the energy, and staying in the ring and performing your best is the most exciting thing for a fighter. And Usyk was very lucky in London, was very lucky in United Kingdom, and we all think he will be lucky this time as well.
Fingers crossed. And in terms of Usyk's opponents, obviously he was undisputed cruiserweight champion of the world. Where will Anthony Joshua rank as an opponent for Usyk? Will he be number one?
That would be probably his toughest opponent before, then 4 positions spare, and then Anthony Joshua.
And what type of fight can we expect on Saturday night? A lot of people saying Usyk could outbox Anthony Joshua. He's the better boxer, but Anthony Joshua has that heavyweight power. Can we see in this fight a knockout potentially from Usyk, or do you think it will be a win on points is the best scenario for Usyk?
You know, 2 styles, 2 completely different styles gonna collide in the ring. And sometimes we hear that styles make the fight. And when a fighter like AJ, an elite fighter, the biggest star, and the guy who has probably the most prominent CV of all the heavyweights, fighting another guy who has the prominent CV in cruiserweights, that might be something special. When we see fights like that, we cannot compare them with anything in the past. These fights make the history. So when we're gonna talk with you in 2-3 years, we're gonna remind this fight and compare everything else with the fight that we saw on the 25th of September.
No, definitely. But you feel as the team on Saturday night at the end of the fight, no matter if it goes the distance or if it ends early, Michael Buffer's going to be saying, "And the new."
Let me tell you my vision, how I see it. The ring, the referee in the center, Alexander Usyk on his right, Anthony Joshua on his left, Then Michael Buffer goes with the result, and the referee raises Usyk's hand. That's the strategy.
Well, not surprisingly, Alex Krassyuk is favouring his man. He has his arm raised at the end, and we're going to get into that a little bit more. But of course, we've been joined by another member of Gallagher's gym here, Nathasha Jonas, and you're out very soon. We've been watching you spar today with April Hunter, fantastic as well. Both looking very, very sharp. You're feeling good, and what can you tell us then ahead of this one?
It's just an 8-rounder, you know, get back in the mix, get back in the things, get back to winning ways, hopefully. And yeah, we've set me challenges from there. You know, we've got a plan and execute it, and you know, go and get that world title that I feel I deserve.
You're always saying, Anthony, aren't you? And Joe, we were speaking to him earlier as well, that you're getting better. And you know, again, with age, we're getting better. We saw with Katie Taylor what a fight you had. And do you feel that way? Because it looked, you know, I'm not saying it because you sat there, I probably am, but you do look sharp, you look extremely sharp.
Compliments when she gets us, but yeah, no, your eyes don't lie, do they, Tash? I think everyone's saying about her, just like, she's getting better, she's getting better. The fine wine phrase comes in a lot with Tash.
We're going to be like Holyfield soon and still boxing when I'm 60. That's what I feel that's the problem might be.
That's another story, we're not going to go there. But in terms of where you are, and you've got this fight coming up, and how quickly then do you want another world title, and how realistic is it, you know, to which way you go? Because there are, I suppose, the different avenues. So what do you see happening? Is it Katie 2 or what?
Whatever opportunities present themselves is the one I'm going to go for. I mean, I've said from the beginning, anything from 130 to I'm even prepared to go to 147. Whatever opportunity presents itself, that's the way I go. I know that I'm not entitled to anything, and you know, no one can say I've had the easy route. I'm going to work hard to put myself in mandatory positions and then challenge for titles. Like I say, I believe I'm at that level, and world level, and I'm just falling short. Unfortunate the first time, a bit unlucky and a bit of experience the second, but you know, third time's a charm.
Is that the plan though? You're not stopping until that happens?
Yeah, I don't think I'll live with myself until I, you know, get that peace that I want, until that happens. So yeah, until I get that, that's when I'll finally step back and think, right, okay, where do I want to do, what do I want to do next? And you know, that might be leaving the sport for the second time.
Yeah. We know about the growth of the women's game, don't we? But you come in the gym today and you see some of the talent, Rhiannon Dixon, and we mentioned April before, and Natasha, and you do just get a sense that every gym is getting that input now from women fighters. It's
right from grassroots. I see it sort of with my amateur club, Tash. I'm sure you see it back at the gym now. The amount of girls that walk through, you know, amateur gyms, wanting to be the next time, wanting to go to the Olympics. It's huge, and I think I've said from day one, I'm always singing the praises. But I think it took 2012. You opened, didn't you, Tash? The women's Olympic boxing. To show everyone just how good, how far they've come on since as well is unbelievable.
I think it took that for, you know, coaches on the wider scale to change how they approached women's sport, because to be fair, not many knew kind of what to do. And now so many coaches, it's not like you're the female boxers. I've been so lucky to have it in the Rotunda, to have it at GB and to have it here. I'm just a boxer. I don't get treated any different. It's not, oh, Tasha's the woman boxer. I'm just come in and I'm one of the lads, I'm one of the boxers, that's it. So it took that kind of attitude to develop on a bigger scale, and like Anthony said, 2012 just opened people's eyes to that. We knew how good women's boxing was, we just needed the world to see it. Now they appreciate, coaches respect a women's title. It was kind of like, oh, we've got 4 champions and we've got 2 women who are ABA champions as well, and it wasn't kind of respected, but now
it's just classed as another title.
It's classed as a title, and people appreciate it, you know, how tough and how hard the sport is for women as well, and respect their kind of struggles to get through just as well as the lads, and we needed that change to happen.
Well, we look forward to that fact that you're obviously at the old M&S Arena it is now, isn't it? The old Echo Arena.
It'll always be the Echo.
Yeah, but obviously there's some great fights on that. We're going to get to that a little later date, because we've got to kind of obsess a little bit about the fight that's coming up this weekend. But before I get you on that, Caleb Plant, Canelo, that was a bit lively.
It was, and I think the amount of it's sort of the pullback and counter from Canelo. People are thinking, wow, Plant's in trouble already. Obviously, he said a few things.
Wasn't shy, was he?
No, he wasn't. Listen, he said, to be honest, he said a lot of things that people have thought, oh, I want to say, and he said it whether that was part of the game plan. He's mentioned it about other fighters in the camp failing test. He's, you know, Canelo took a few things personal, saying he's bringing his mother into it, and that was it. And there was a bit of shoving. There was a bit of a slap out, I think it was, and then it was a little bit of a lean back and counter from Canelo.
Of course, it was everything.
Yes,
It was like all Anthony's all press conferences.
Yeah,
It was just
that's
exactly the
it.
same.
It was me, Chisora White, was just up there with it.
Now on that though, that brings us seamlessly into Callum Smith. Both your old mate, obviously, he used to train here. Now he doesn't, but he's got a new chapter at 175 now. He's a light heavyweight now. He was always a ridiculously big lad at super middleweight. But
He's still a big lad.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, his frame is insane. But of course, we saw him last against Canelo. Now he's got this opportunity against Castillo then on the big undercard, and I mean, I suppose we're all expecting to just adapt seamlessly. Is that the way you both see it?
Castillo's not a bad opponent at all.
But he did very well against Bivol.
Against Bivol, and I was with Callum the other day, and it looks fantastic. But you're always fighting the. Back when he was a super middleweight, you're thinking, how did you make super? He's a big light heavyweight. He's a huge light heavyweight, but I think he's happy to have that extra £7. I think.
And he looks like he's filled out, and he looks like sometimes when he was at super middle, he still looked like, I don't want to say boyish because that's, but he looked like a developing man.
Yes.
But now he looks like a man. He's solid. Like
filled
you look
out a little bit
he's
more
filled
with
out
the weight, and I said he's still a huge light heavyweight, and I was there obviously the night in Texas, and Callum, I never say it was easy for him to make the weight, but at the last two fights he started to struggle more, and the night before I remember thinking, I thought it was just Callum sort of, I just don't think he just outgrew the weight a long time ago, but he just couldn't perform at the weight, and he just didn't have that zip in him. I know Canelo's an unbelievable fight, but he just didn't have that zip in him. But you get offered the Canelo fight, you've got the title, of course you're going to take it.
The same with female boxing, people know Katie Taylor's your money fight, Clarissa Shields your money fight, and that's the way it works. You've got every weight division will have their money
If it
fight.
means you boiling yourself down, yes, you're going to do it.
You're going to do it.
You've been in boxing news, giving your opinion, which we'll get to in a minute.
But
Tash, Joshua Usyk, now you're an Olympian. These two, at the same games as you when you were breaking records for noise levels, Katie Taylor, you and her going hammer and tongs, those two won gold medals at different weights. It's a nice little subplot to it. How's the fight? How do you see it?
You know what, I think we've seen things in Joshua that he needs for this fight. I think in the last two fights, in fact since Ruiz 2, we all know that he can bang, we all know that he's fast, we all know that he's explosive, but we questioned his discipline, we questioned his concentration, and things since that Ruiz 2, I think he's worked on them. He's trimmed down a lot, he's working on his footwork. I don't think he's going to stand there trying to outbox Usyk, because that'll be impossible. But he knows that he'll have to work his way in and be smart about it and keep to a game plan, be patient, and his opportunities will eventually come, because there's one thing you can be assured about boxing is you are going to get hit eventually.
You go back a long way with Josh. Obviously you were in the same team, London 2012.
It feels so long ago now.
you were there. Obviously you trained together in Sheffield for a long time, and again when you cross paths now, is he the same Josh, even though there's God knows how many millions in the bank, and we know about the profile, and he's been a great role model for boxing, but his fame is off the scale. Is he the same lad?
For me, it's mad, because he's AJ to everyone else, but to me, I still have my phone as Little Josh. So
Little Josh.
Yeah, Little Josh. That was the joke. There was Josh Taylor and Anthony Joshua. So one was Big Josh, which we call Josh Taylor.
He's done all right as well.
Parallel.
So it's mad to see him excel on his platform and his status and everything grow. But when we're together and talking, it's just the same old Josh, really. So that's the humble kind of stay humble, be humble kind of thing that he's got.
From your point of view then, I know that you've said in Boxing News that I think you favoured Josh around 7.
Yes, I have, but not before overcoming some problems. It's mad because, and this is what makes it such a great fight, and this is what, I'm going Josh between 6 and 8. I just believe at some point in line, and he's a fantastic finisher, Anthony Joshua. He gets Usyk going, and I think he might only get that one opportunity, and he's got to take, and I believe he will. He's a fantastic finisher. However, what makes it such a good fight, I can think of a few different ways how Usyk can win, and I can very easily see them happening. You think he could just frustrate AJ all night. He could AJ could gas through, miss him through hitting for net, and then he stops him late. You can just see there's a few different. There's more scenarios where I can see Usyk winning than AJ. However, I just believe, I know Joe mentioned it, I think he lands that right hand down the middle. Then when he does have Usyk on rocky legs at time, I believe he finishes the job, but it's not with great confidence, and that's what makes it such a great fight.
So we have it the big fight of the weekend, but before you both go, because I know you probably have more important things to discuss on a day-to-day kind of level with the football. Is there another member of your family now signed for Liverpool?
They are, yeah.
I thought I
Lee
saw
Jonas,
something
remember the name.
Yeah.
So there you are.
We just, you know, I've got a
You're taking over.
vast range of sports.
And Nikita's still doing the business as well.
She is for Arsenal and England, yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, in terms of the starts to the season, you happy enough with Liverpool? They've not put foot wrong, really, have they? Not much.
One draw. I mean.
So have United.
Yes, but I think goal difference separates us, doesn't it?
Is that it? Just not a golf in class and style?
No, I mean at the minute they started together. They've got Van Dijk back, haven't they? I say it all the time. They was the only team in the Premiership who had injuries last year, but they're back. But no, listen, they look well. And we have. I can only they look very well. He is.
All you need now is Fergie.
He's still involved.
The dream's complete.
21's coming too.
Well, there we are. Well, thanks for your input. It's great to see you again in action there, and to speak to you again, Tasha and Anthony, of course, as ever, as part of the Betfred Boxing team. But thank you very much indeed for watching the Betfred Boxing Show.